Personal communication as valid as other scholarly references that you use, because you heard that from a person. Like when I did my English master's degree in Arizona, most of the time I didn't use standard scholarly articles. I interviewed students. Most of, like 90% of my references were based on my personal communication with students. But I never used their last name. For example, Martha, personal communication with Martha, Anna, on such and such day within that. That's because just to meet the requirement. Here would say, for example, Rhys David says that Indian Hinduism does not have a clear identity. At times it is at times a monotheism, at times a polytheism, and then there's no clear definition of Hinduism. And who said that? I don't know whether Rhys David said that, I just said that. For example. So when you put reference also, you would either say according to Rhys Davids, or actually when you, lucky you, because we don't use any software, there's no plagiarism detection software in that we use. This is simply very informal class. And then we use this technique of writing repurposing, meaning you get a certain scholarly idea, you rewrite it in your own language. You usually do that when you use in the Western country, in American academia. Otherwise, when you directly code too many times, and then the similarity index would be very high, so that the professor, instructors would give you a lower grade. Right? When the similarity index is more than 15%, right, they would ask you to edit. Whereas in this case, there's no such thing. But you simply say, even if you directly quote him, okay, Hinduism doesn't have a clear identity. Rhys Davids within brackets. More proper way is according to Rhys Davids, or Rhys Davids maintains, or Rhys Davids states that Hinduism doesn't have a clear identity. It is at time a polytheism, it is at time a monotheism. And then you explain. Always start with the conclusion in your head, as I said, like Western book writing skill technique. And then there should be introductory paragraph, and then the body, and then conclusion. Because even if I could be okay with that, the university wouldn't approve that, right? Conclude, you have conclude again. And for example, you start with conclusion in your head. Hinduism doesn't have a clear identity. In this essay, I would explore the reasons behind Hinduism not having a clear identity. And then you say that's the introductory paragraph, maybe only 5 lines. 5 lines enough. And then you explain, and then you describe your argument. And then finally, based on what this and that you have explained, Hinduism does not have a clear identity. The shortest essay is, how, introductory paragraph, two more paragraphs, and the paragraph that you conclude. Right? That's how you write in IQ tests and all that. The shortest essay would be 4 paragraphs. But whereas when it comes to this assignment, maybe introductory paragraph, maybe 4 more paragraphs, and the last one is 5. When you use double space, Times New Roman, font size 12, you can very easily come up with 5 pages or 4 pages. Why I want you to do that is not because I want, because I know you, we would need each other. Because I don't care how long, I don't grade the papers based on the length, required length. Sometimes some students write long essays, but without substance. Whereas some students with very brief essays, but with clear substance. But whereas when it comes to university, let me save you by writing a little longer essay. Why? Even when I give you 95 points, and when I send back to Sri Lanka, when the professors grade the papers again, and they would, in case they say, okay, the essay is too short, the argument is not clear. On top of the 95 point that I had already given, they would put, 60, then 95 plus 60, how much? The total?
155.
155, then you divide it by 2. Yeah, so then you will get, I gave you an A, well, the university gave you C plus or something, yeah, or maybe B minus. And they hardly use this plus and minus. Some universities do, because the University of California is one of the oldest and very classical. They use they are old-fashioned. So anyway, but again, when you return the assignment to me, then I will grade it. I mean, this formal assignment wouldn't affect your grades, but this is between you and me. So those help you to organize your knowledge. That is the purpose. Then I would give my comments and say, okay, you have to add this and change this, and so you would rewrite it, send it back to me, so that I would give you a grade anyway, but that has no way relevant to the actual grading. But the benefit is when you have those 5 assignments ready, right? When you close the final exam, then you read them and then you come to the exam handy. So 4:26, then we can stop.
How long do we have to hand in the assignment?
Let's say I will think about that. It's not time sensitive anyway. But I would still have a deadline. Why? Because if I ask you to take as much time as you like, then you wouldn't have time even to finish one assignment. And you would think, okay, I have the entire semester to write the first assignment, whatever the rest for. So, but there's no order. As long as you turn in all the assignments before the exams, it doesn't affect your, it would only affect the knowledge that you are supposed to, that you have to come to the exam hall with yourself. So that's why I want those 5 assignments. Otherwise, you don't have an obligation to do those 5 assignments. But I would recommend that you do those assignments, 5 assignments, for your own, to your benefit. Because otherwise, it's always assignments would be based on whatever I have spoken about, based on your audio tapes, video tapes, whatever. And then it is pretty much like transcribing the audio tape lecture and put it into written form, because thereby I make you an obligation to listen to the tape and whatever, and go through the notes, revisit the notes and write an assignment. And there will be only 5 universal areas that we cover. All those 5 universal, or those 5 assignments would encapsulate the knowledge from those 5 universal areas of the history of Buddhism. Once again, the Vedic religion, characteristic of Buddhism, and then emergence of different Buddhist schools, and the six Buddhist councils, and the geographical spread of Buddhism to different lands. 5. So we would start from the Vedic period and end somewhere in Southeast Asia, Indonesia, Thailand. Start from Central Asia and finally we end up in Bangkok. Right? So those are the 5 areas that we would cover. Are you having a clear picture now? What you would be what we would cover? Right. So you will enjoy that when it comes to exams. Don't look at exams in light of whatever the studies, exam that you have done in the past in your universities or in your college. So I have done lots of exams, so many, mostly in this country. No, I know how pressurized you get, because I really want you to walk away with the highest grade, A. Yeah, you will make it. It's very easy. So I will repeat the same stuff again. Narrate. So you will fall freely with me, free fall, and then when you actually use the actual reference during your assignments. Okay, it's always whatever I explain, just relate it to all those 5 universal areas that we would cover. You would write your assignments on. 5 areas. Now you know where you go now. The history of Buddhism. And I'm not going to cover everything. I only cover the key areas. Because there's no such thing, study the whole history. You can do that. How could you memorize all the names, place names, individual names, all that? Okay, thank you.